Hello. Hello.
Hello.
So, as I was saying, before you invited me to come and say it on this Zoom, it sounds like it's practice. But I was writing a rebuttal to somebody about it's disclosure really, disclosing to them about the amount of substance that we had to any of our claims that they would obviously be requiring to overcome in order for them to substantiate what we're saying their claims are, which are false. So, kind of uncovering as opposed to discovery. So, this is what you're going to need to cover. This is what we do go head to head with this, and you try to dispute what it is that we've said, then here is our evidence. So, as I was typing that on the mainstream TV that I am uh, keeping in the peripheral, see here there are scripts being read out by our little actors. I hear them complaining again about the fact that the tax is going to go up, inflation is going to rise, and that money is just not going to be affordable to use. So that people are eventually going to get the message that money is the problem. If you use their money, then you're going to have problems. So the Distant Reset program, which explains about kindness credits, my ears stood up when I heard them say, what we need to do is pay people in kind. Right now, in kind, most perverted interpretations of kind means on your back with your legs in the air, with a sexual connotation to it. But well, unfortunately, that's because we've been operating a system of solicitation and solicitors and stuff that come out of that pot. So it's not surprising, really, that most people have got a very corrupted definition of kind. So here comes kindness credits now, loud and clear on the mainstream brainwave washing channels, which says that because so much money is being spent on people on benefits, who are then maybe not spending it on the things that they should be spending it on and going and doing other things with it instead, because obviously they can because of those slave trade supporting that kind of slavery. They are going to issue kindness vouchers, which go into the hands of the recipient, of the beneficiary, and they cut out all of the middlemen because obviously what was happening is then the corporations were usurping your direct connection to the party in the community who is providing you with that service and interloping on the exchange. So the kindness credit goes into the hand of the beneficiary. Beneficiary then chooses from those people who have been chosen to meet the standards of the definition of psychiatrist. For example, I've got a problem in my head, I need a psychiatrist. Okay, normally you would have to go to this private organization, give your data there, have your data shared over here, blah, blah, blah. Then you can all make money out of it, put you on a waiting list, not actually pay the people who were giving you the service anything to really live off, and kept you all in that perpetual doom loop. Now, the implementation of kindness being introduced as a currency into your community, step one has been implemented so that they will then go, the beneficiary takes the kindness credit voucher directly to the psychiatrist and puts it in their hand, and they can then discharge all of their implied liabilities that they would normally use slave tokens for. And that is how you get rid of the Bank of England fiat currency and slave tokens, as you know. And so we did give them the right of use of the kindness credit online account structure if they met our conditions. They're nearly there. They're able to use the 5 hours a week exchange and the method of definition of kind, because it has now been reinterpreted into the right kind of definition. And then as we see them progress with that, we'll open up the rest of the sides of the accounts so that they can discharge their charges, or let them have the right of use of the titles back of the corporations that were secured, for the discharging of the implied fictional charges, keeping fiction fiction. So that was pretty cool. And then the other thing that was pretty cool is we talked about
Yeah, that
uh,
is pretty cool.
that is so fucking cool, man. That's the whole point. That was the whole point that we did this for.
So they've
And
they've come
then
up with this. They meaning obviously it's us, but they
no,
said
they've been
this.
given the right of use of this. The
Okay.
only way that they can use it is if they use it, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
That's the condition. So how can we, first of all, we have to have a restoration of everybody's rights in order for us to start off anyway, don't we? So we had to go through all of that. And in any place that they were found to be implied or inverted or perverted as in a wrong definition, then we had to get it out and polish that turd and turn it into something like a something beneficial, compost, to create a new world out of it. Um, and so that's the bedrock. Uh, the Hungarian people have lost their leader for reasons unknown, and they have gone and appointed a female chess player because of her amazing strategic mind. These are the people that we want. And these are the people that represent a kind of change in mindset. That it's not about
Yeah, tell me
who
about it.
who shagged the most women with plastic tits this week at the boys' club, or who's made so many billions gambling on another's demise, or a unexpected act of God somewhere that we've directed with our geoengineering equipment. Um, it's all the gambling things gone, all of the conditions, the shop fronts that were, they've used these as hypotheses to kind of use that as cover stories for with the fact that they've been pulled out into the open under universal law, proven to be operating a cartel. So they're kind of pointing the finger with these stories, going, no, look over here, this is the guy who's the cartel. This is what she means when she means cartel. Look, we're doing it, we're doing it. Okay, we're going to go and restore the rights, and let's get the right people behind bars, get the other people out who shouldn't be in there anyway. So we had a woman who was on the TV on a talk show calling in. She was an ex what they call clergy in the prison, what they call them, chaplain. And she said the problem is that the wrong people are in the prison. There's too many people in the prison who shouldn't be in prison. And so I nearly called in, but I just thought, well, we've got our own talk show, so I'll do it on here instead. As I'm ringing up to say these things to you, to reporting in and reporting in from the front line. And it's great news. So they have realised, and they're coming out and saying that this is, we need to get the people out who are in there. But what instead they're missing the point completely, that it was the fact that it was profitable and we were using people as collateral because we privatised our prison service. And so we were making all of the money by keeping them in there. Saying, why don't we double up on the cells? Why is it that every one person to a cell? Well, because that was the remnants of COVID that was still being imposed on people. Um, mm, the last remnants of the unsubstantiated hypothesis finally being dragged out into the open. But let's start with the fact that if we didn't use money, people wouldn't have a problem by not having any. How about that for simple fucking logic? If there's this thing and it's not enough of it all going around, then why are you using it as a valid method of a legal tender or exchange? Why would anybody continue to use something that's in short supply and controlled by a bunch of cartel operating slave masters? I mean, surely that's obvious when we get to this point where we realize that it's actually, if Trump's running around saying it's 5D chess that we're playing, then we better get some chess players then. We better get some people who've got a strategy in mind to defeat the game that's been monopolized by this feudal hierarchy, the script enforcing actors. So it is a pretty amazing day today. So I did the report into our comrades over in the southwest corner, if you look at it that way. If you look at it that way up. And they were reporting in that they had done something very similar. Um, I was there 3 days ago. So I have noted down that over in a part of the rock that's named as a ladder, they have over this weekend refunded or returned to or paid out or given to the dividends in a desperate attempt to continue with their slave tokens. EFCA has been distributed to 68,370 beneficiaries. There's 61 million euros in the pot there. 15 million paid to 14,000 euros in slavery, subsidized slavery, employment programs. And it's all been done through the Rock. It's an exchange. So that's how we did it. We reversed the charges and forced the system to refund everybody and pay them the dividends. If they want to continue using fiat, that's up to you. And that was the option inside the Ministry Remedy outlet when we gave it to the people who we knew had been sent to come to try to incriminate us. When we gave them the change went back on the counter next to the rock. They said, well, which is our change? It's you choose. You choose whether it's slavery or the rock. They chose slavery. And they went on to try to incriminate us when it was their choice. And if they'd have taken the rock, there'd have been an account open for them, and they too would have been visited on kind miscredits. So I thought that was pretty spectacular, really, that they are doing what it is that they have been directed and secured until they do that. And I thought I would share that with you, really. Yeah.
That was very nice of you. But this is brilliant. It's all happening. There's something off the shore of Scotland as well, the oil drilling that Burnham started, that has got massive petitions to stop
They
now
can't start
because
it.
it's not going to help the energy. Yeah.
We didn't start it. So all this was remnants of what was being. This is what was waiting for you. This is what it was stood on. If we can't do this, then it's this that we fall back on. If we can't do taking your DNA and COVID, we'll just use the data and hypothesis. Can't use that. Can't use the structure. Can't get down to the nitty gritty. What is it that's going on? It's actually, guys, the rock that's secured. So even when we want to try to give ourselves license for it, we can't because we haven't got the right of use of the construct, the mechanism, the framework that used to be there in order for us to do that. What was that? Well, in this most recent version, it was the Treaty of Nice, let's say. So that came into force on the 1st of November of a hypothetical year of 2011. 2014. So who fuck knows, it's Gregorian. So that's it. I'm very pleased to say it's like ding 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 ding, not Looney Tunes song. Muppet Show tonight. That's it. Ta-da! That is the restoration.
That's all, folks.
That is all for that shit, folks, and I really wouldn't recommend projecting it anymore. Put the fucking run the credits. Oh, who we got top of the list of the credits? Who can we credit all of that shit show to? Our crown consciousness infected with the virus of corona and the belief of an unsubstantiated claim about our creator being a fiend instead of a friend. And that's all we had to change. So good that we're listening to the ex-chaplains saying that the wrong people are inside the prison. Why didn't they do something about it? Why? Because it's there. That's all done in the name of God. Remember this? All done. I'm a warrior of God and I'm a Christian or whatever, or Mashallah and Ali Akbar and all of that. Well, it's my imaginary friend told me to do it. Well, we've narrowed that down to artificial intelligence. And then they've gone and obliterated this artificial intelligence by blaming everything that they did in the misrepresentation and fraud now on artificial intelligence. And then, all the evidence disappears because we fucking hacked ourselves and press the delete button.
I think 1800 AI data centers being stopped in America, and the biggest one over here, uh, Google's one over here, is being stopped as well. I think the villages are rising up. Yeah,
Oh, you can feed it a load of corrupted data courtesy of Universal Law Community Trust and Minister of Event, because that's all you've got. You've got something
exactly.
terrible. Yeah,
Yeah,
I got my eyeball connected to my ear roll. It doesn't count anymore because we've got a bit over here with this title, a bit over here with this title, and they've done it to themselves. We just offered ourselves up as the collateral. We knew that we were going to be
yeah.
used for something. And let
Hmm.
it be used for restoring everybody's rights. So I'm amazed that these
Yeah,
people
no,
come
they
up
are
with
actually saying at the villages, they're saying, are we going to drink water or are we going to drink data? That also
really.
corrupted cohorts.
Well, that's great news if it's got to the villagers. Their mind
Yeah,
is
because
already
that's where they're setting up the data centers, right, in remote areas where people don't
it's
generally
better.
go. Yeah, that's where they want to set
It's
it
the
up.
last kick in the ass, really, isn't it? It's the last. What else is there that the universe can throw at us to make us sit up and say, "What the fuck have we been doing, guys? What is it? Was COVID not enough? No, we've forgotten about that. We'll just carry on committing commerce and using slave tokens. Okay, well, look at what's that. Slave tokens have become too expensive to use. Can you see
Yeah,
that now?
got too
Can,
devalued now.
can you see the cost that it has cost us? The shops are empty, blaming it on their fridges going down. They can't use the Heathrow Airport data spreadsheets information because it's been corrupted because of what they did. And then they're running around saying, "Oh, people come here and they get on benefits and they take money from the state." It's time to tell the truth that the people that come here are presumed to give their share of the rock into the coffers of the country that is implied to be giving them asylum. But these people are running from the oppressors straight into the oppressors' arms and giving them an assignment of consent and contracting with them that was being used then to come from Afghanistan. And everything that Afghanistan has been implied to represent has just been assigned and assumed into the pot under the Bank of England because I'm now sitting on a floating prison waiting for you to take over Afghanistan and the poppy industry and heroin, and so that you can flood that country with it and blame some fucking cartel somewhere that was able to do it because they've been sold bombs and the weapons and the guns through the people who were really making the money, which was the Bank of fucking England and the fiat currency supporters or any other supporter of any BC definition of a hypothesis of a day when we counted one because Jesus was supposed to have resurrected himself. What the fuck is that about? We can put that down the toilet and pull the chain, can't we? And there it
Well,
goes.
I think that was done on 25th of Feb 2020 in any case. So
Well, it was, but it was like a really horrible turd hanging out of the toilet with its various legs, right? And
it's
it
like
just
shit, we secured a third.
like I
Now we gotta remove the sugar off of it.
I'm sticking to you because I'm made out of poo. I used to sing that actually. I stood in a dog shit once and it was stuck to my shoe. And I was with this guy and was trying to cover up my embarrassment by singing this song that suddenly came in my head. And so it kind of replaced my song of Amor. I'm sticking to you because I made it a boo. And there we have it. Flush it down the toilet at Jacob's Well. Off it
Yep.
goes. And so what else is very nice? Very nice is that everybody's learning about Odysseus and Canenus, and everybody's going on a trip round the rock and learning about these different aspects of themselves and these different dimensions. And
Yeah, it is opening up quite a bit. There's a lot of more people who are, not feeling as isolated as before
I
from
tell you, we
being
really came
completely.
through it. We came
Yeah, I
we
was
came through
told today that everyone has assumed I had lost it, and that's why everyone got contact with me. And I was like, well, obviously I haven't lost it.
How's your belly button anyway?
Like, why not want to brainwash all the indoctrination that we're all subject to in any case before we take a next step forward? But it is what it is.
Well, it is what it is, but we don't know what it is.
Exactly.
We just
That
call
we
it an
know,
act
but
of God, but
they're
no
still
emotion.
assuming.
Oh, we've got lots of assuming and presuming going on. That's the turd. That is the stinking turd. It's assuming that it's not a turd, and it's been
Yeah.
proven
So,
beyond all shadow of any toilet.
there's this guy who got a call from one of the immigrant hotels to put air cons in there,
Mm.
and he refused. He's like, we don't get air cons for free. What the hell are you guys gonna get air cons for free for immigrants? That also like,
Well, the reason why they're getting free air cons is that they've milked the rest of you dry. They can't presume that they've got any of the people's consent who were there in that implied jurisdiction after 2020. So they bring in a load more so that they can use their names on the register that they've given asylum to. And that's just the exemplification. And the money that they get for doing that is the money that they can then invest in giving them air condition and say it's their human right. Well, if we have this is my point about the thing that we're saying about the people the people who've been in prison who shouldn't be in prison. It's the whole hypothesis of a corporate state spread across this rock. We're all in prison in some way or another to it. Well, you think you still need a passport to go anywhere with. You're creating the prison, as you know. But so if we dealt with the community and with kindness and all took responsibility for where it is the food comes from and how it gets to us and what goes into it and who's got a seat at the table or a decision-making process in the supply chain of this, then we wouldn't have the liabilities that people would then inherit that cause them the arguments that then cause domestic violence, for example, or separation or homelessness, and then spiraling into the doom loop of drink and drugs and shoplifting and into the prison you go because you haven't got a roof over your head. And then you get kicked out and you're homeless again, and then you're recalled because there was nowhere to tag you, and back you go in the revolving credit facility to be used as collateral inside the privatised prison system. That's what's happened. They can't use the equity of things that were implied to be equity that were secured by the title of Her Majesty's government as a corporation. That was their downfall when they did do that, which is capitalism. So it's right that the use of slavery is too expensive for us to continue to credit. And it's just a shame that it's taken so fucking long. Yes, we know that on that day, on the 25th of the implied years, February 2020, which it wasn't even that for the record, by anybody's accounting mechanism, even by the ones who were telling you what the fucking day of the week it was. It's taken this long for people to unhitch that themselves. And even while you're doing it and you're going in there and you're giving your time up and saying, look, I will go and get myself arrested. And we're standing outside the court after calling the police on ourselves, knowing that there's a warrant going to be issued for us. And we wait an hour for them to come to get us. At any time, we could have gone on the run. That had the doors of the implied prison flung wide open, going around the world without any ID, and we chose to turn around and come the fuck back to find out the bottom of all, get to the bottom of all of this, and restore all of the rights to stick to our agreement. We had the opportunity. The doors were wide open. And we went so far, and we turned around and came back to this prison. So anybody implying that anybody's gone on the run, that is the biggest unsubstantiated claim, and the repercussions for that I have seen when people make false claims against us. We've got the guy with the earthquake that went straight to his house and put where
Yeah,
we'd
yeah,
written the
yeah,
shop and put the
yeah.
crack went up the wall. There was tidal waves that went and put boats where cars were in car parks and cars where boats were in the sea. All orange lightning floods in the police stations where we were, where they've done these things
And
to
then
us.
the
So I
most
would really,
beautiful, The most beautiful eclipse as well. It was really nice this time. Saw the pictures. It was
The
amazing.
those it was just like seeing what it is. This okay, there's the spray, there's the two clouds colliding together. There's your presumption that it's spoiling the view, and you take a few photographs and you probably would have done. And that's what it comes out in the exposure of them. All of those indefinable things. And I stood there and encanted the same thing. This is Apple. We said that we would do this to cause a restoration of rights of the secured creditors. Of the creditors of what first? Secure your mind on what it is that you're crediting or claiming credit on. And be prepared to be able to prove that claim. And if you can't do that, shut up until you can, that's all. And that's what we did. And then because there's been big silences where we were going and getting the evidence and trying not to corrupt the cases or putting the evidence up before a case could go into reaching the point where it went into the court to have that exemplification of that 10 columns that each of you counts have been divided into 10 to the power of 10 fiat. We were fiat and fear and feudalism is what we said we would do, and we did it. And so you have all of these rights, and then we've got people jumping on the YouTube and putting up things like, "Oh, these people are fraudsters, and she's on the fucking run." If I was on the run, I
There was
would have
one guy
been.
from
There would
here
have been the
who,
recordings of me in the police station
oh,
saying, "Have you got any more fucking warrants for me?" Or what about the one that you just let me out of the police station? We've held me for 3 days trying to make something stick and we can't. And then I come and I ask you, these police say that you've issued a warrant, and you say, no, there isn't one. No, so because I haven't fucking done anything except come and cause them to commit what is barratry on themselves. And so when anybody makes a false claim, you are committing barratry on yourself, on your standing. What are you standing on to make a claim with? You don't even get the fact that you not haven't got the right to use of that name that you think is yours, and you send me emails to say, "Ooh, I've been invited to go and pick my passport up at the police station." You fucking what? Have you got a right of use of that yet?
no, you picked it up. It was lying on the road. You just gave it back to the agent who issued
No,
it.
I'm going to go
Why?
and close the claim. I'm going to go and close the claim and say, yes, I still believe that's me. And okay, you muppet. Off you go to fucking purgatory. And the slavery, down the loop you go. Down the toilet with the rest of
Go to the Strait of Malacca, you Malacca.
it. You go straight to Malacca. It's brilliant. I never even heard of the Strait of Malacca until recently, did you? Since they Googled what Malacca means, everybody wants to be one. Or they realized they were one, and that's why they needed Elisabethus Filialis for some to help them with their impotence. So I must say they have
Hello?
surprised me. Hello,
Huh, you're
they
back.
have
Yeah, I'm back.
surprised me with their quite witty reinterpretation of what it is. But we do want all of the evidence that they have wrongly recorded in various ways. So there's been a universal disclosure order issued by Ministry of Revenue today, and
Oh, there's already a lot of more
what?
disclosure happening of already for the frequency shift. Then they'll just implode upon themselves and not be here. And that's being said.
They
I tried to send you a video with the scenes to should play the taken a
your sound's breaking up.
excerpt of the video.
You're
They're
breaking
saying
up. Are you
exactly
moving?
what we've been saying.